Okay boys, wanted to put together a quick video on like tips and tricks for AOC, how to get through them a little easier, what you can do to help improve your run times, and also hopefully push up into higher tiers. Now, these will be sort of generic tips, so these will be applicable to everybody, and we'll be running a tier 10, which is kind of where I'm comfortably speed farming at the moment. I usually do these in like 4 to 5 minutes, but you know, I'm going to be concentrating a little bit on talking to you, so I'm not too sure if I'm going to get the best time here. So forgive the gameplay, but I want to show as I talk, and hopefully it'll kind of all make a little bit more sense that way. So the first is when you're looking at enemy packs, you want to try and make sure that you are getting to elite packs as fast as possible, not spending too much time on the little guys in between. Now, if you do get like in a ridiculously large group, then you want to try your best to group those up as best as possible. There we go, got an elite pack there. Done. Now, another thing that you're probably going to want to do as well is make very good use of metamorphoses, whether or not you're a barbarian. Use it to avoid large incoming damage. So if you can see explosions or CCs coming and stuff like that, preemptively pop your evade and you become invulnerable to damage for that very short period of time. So it's very, very good for not just getting out of sticky situations, but actually, you know, avoiding a lot of damage at the very same time as well. So get through these elite packs here. You can see I'm dodging through. Obviously with the Barbarian, there's a lot of extra synergy for that, which, you know, that's a different topic, but yeah, every class can make use of this, and it's going to make you a lot tankier. And actually, one thing that I really like doing is using metamorphosis as the bosses come in, so the Bloodseekers come in, because it will avoid any of their opening damage, which is usually really high. And another tip right there, just did there, is when you see an enemy champion, the purple guys that are glowing, get to them as soon as possible. They will make practically every enemy around them invincible. So you want to get to them and get them down as fast as possible. So unfortunately, we've got pretty unlucky here with a succubus, but like I said, you want to try and get an elite down. If you see one, they're worth a lot of progress on the bar. And then those 1 or 2 guys that are left, just completely run past them, because they're just kind of a waste of time. And that pack probably wasn't worth stopping for, but I'm a little distracted. You'll have to forgive me. Body blocked here. There we go. So again, a pretty healthy pack here. If those guys wanted to come through the door, I may have turned around and tried to kill that entire pack. Shrines as well. I'm glad one of these came up. This is just a protection shrine, so I'll just pick that up now if I can. But shrines, you definitely want to be kind of conservative with when you use them. Take a look at your bar, see how close you are to the end. Is it somewhere like close to where the boss is going to be spawning? If so, you may want to actually sit on that and wait until the boss spawns to use it. Even if you have to kite them back a little bit to get them to where the shrine is, that can be a really good way to get down the bosses much easier than you usually would be able to. So definitely something to consider. Shrine usage. Don't always just insta-click them. Check that progress bar. See if you're close to spawning the bosses, and then potentially sit on it and wait until they spawn to get it done. Now, I'm actually glad I got a vampiric enemy here, because these are a huge pain in the backside when it comes to AOC. Now, typically, you'll hear like a gonging sound when they're about to use it. We're gonna listen for this. Kill this guy. Are you gonna do it? I'm listening. Okay. You're vampiric, but you're not going to do it. There it is. So you hear that sound. That means that the heal is coming in. Now, when you hear it, and you get that there's a very slight blood aura around them when it goes off, but when you hear that, you have to stun them. If you do not stun that enemy, it will then practically heal all the way to full. Now, the worst part is that the Bloodseekers, the bosses, they can quite frequently actually get that themselves. And if they do, it's very much a uphill battle from that point moving forward. So you want to keep an ear out for that gong sound. And then once you get it, then you can stun them and they won't heal. It's very important. Again, if the Bloodseekers do that, that fight will go on for infinite. Very, very important. Really lucky I actually ran into one of those enemies so I could show you guys. Now, speaking of the Bloodseekers as well, another important thing to mention is that they're not considered a boss type enemy. They're just a regular elite as far as the game is concerned. You know, a lot of shrines here. I'm going to pick this one up. So if your build has anything that has like when you hit a boss or etc., that won't work against them. So for the Barbarian specifically, Unrelenting Fury, which is an aspect we have on our rings, would usually give you back like up to 30% of your fury if you hit a boss or kill an enemy. But when you're hitting the Bloodseekers, neither of those is proccing. You're definitely not killing them in one hit. And again, they're not considered bosses. So that's something that can affect, I think, a few aspects in the game. Definitely worth keeping an eye out for. If your build feels different, then that could be one of the reasons why when you're fighting them. This is not my best time in the world. I'm very, very distracted. Now, we will actually be changing my Barbarian build for those of you who are interested in that kind of thing. Today's stream would have just finished, and I will be updating the build guide probably around about the same time that you're watching this. Expect to see the video not too long after this video goes live. I'm going to be making use of some of the new tech that was discovered with Whirlwind. Actually, such a smart idea. Whoever came up with that, seriously, massive kudos. That was a really, really smart tech discovered. I think I heard it was a Chinese team, like a 4 barbarians. They were all using it or something like that. Don't quote me on that one, but I'll hopefully try and find the original source and quote them when I do the build guide. So here, this is a terrible place for the Seekers. Okay, so another tip, besides using Metamorphosis to avoid their initial damage, which I did do there, you also want to try and avoid summoning them in such a small area. Because all of these effects, as you can see, are pretty bad when they're in such a confined space. Now, luckily, this is kind of easy mode for me. I did take a little bit of damage there, but that's because I wasn't paying attention to my fury. But you definitely don't... Oh, this one's vampiric. So you definitely don't want to be doing them in areas like this. So I got to listen to the gong. Okay, or not. Just one-shot him instead. that makes my life a lot easier. But you listen for the gong. If you hear it, then you stun them. And again, these are not bosses. They can be stunned. So definitely a lot of CC is going to carry you very, very hard in AOC in general. A lot of things to consider that I didn't get a chance to go through was actually... you want to try and get some form of a grasp, a way to bring enemies into you so you can burst them down. That's very, very good. A lot of builds are currently sort of evolving in ways that allow you to do that. And again, that's kind of what the Whirlwind build does. Very, very useful for AOC, but also CC in general, very, very good for helping with those Bloodseekers. But those are all of the tips and tricks I kind of wanted to throw your way, hopefully give you a hand in clearing AOC at a higher tier. Again, I'll be streaming, pushing, always kind of looking for the best build and stuff like that on stream. I'll leave a link down in the description below to my Twitch channel. But yeah, if you found it useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. If you have anything you'd like to add, also leave that in the comments down below for everybody else. Let's try and get close to 25, boys. Let's see if we can do it. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.